Let's get under the hood and look at the data model that powers customer success management. Understanding how these records fit together is the key to understanding how the whole application works, so we'll start with the building blocks, then bring it all together. The first category is what we call container records. The important thing to understand is that these records aren't worked the way a task is. Instead, they act as a point of reference for all the activity that happens around them. There are two main examples. The engagement record is the center point for everything in customer success. Every record tied to a given customer relationship rolls up here. The objective acts as a contextual umbrella for a set of goals and metrics. Think of the objective as the what are we working toward? The tasking actually starts below in the initiative record. Next are the case type records. If you've worked with ServiceNow before, then these will feel familiar. A case can front end traditional support like a break fix, but it also handles billing issues, product questions, and tracks the delivery of pretty much any customer request. Each case type has a focused job, defined by its fields and the process built behind it. And because they surface in the out of box customer service portal, they're built for direct collaboration with the customer. On the flip side, we have internal records. These track the work the customer doesn't see, things like the internal play and the implementation record. You would use these to flag issues early, align your own team internally, and track implementation progress behind the scenes. It's the same data model, just a different audience. Okay, here's where it all comes together. This is the full customer success management data model, and I'll walk you through it. Across the top, you've got the main groupings of records, starting on the left with value blueprinting, followed by workflow, converse, and manage. Those classifications are really just a loose way to frame the intent of those records that sit underneath each one. Then, running along the bottom of the diagram, you can see how this data model connects into the rest of the platform with sales and orders, services and support, data and integrations, insights and analytics, the underlying CRM data model. That bottom band is the foundation everything else sits on, the ServiceNow AI platform. One quick orientation note, you'll see a small icon key in the corner of these slides. It flags where the AI agents and generative AI come into play, and whether a record is customer visible or internal only. Worth keeping an eye on as we go. The first record type we'll talk through is the success onboarding case. It's a purpose-built central record for managing the initial setup and activation of a new customer account. And it keeps working well past go live, handling the ongoing addition and maintenance of data and new products as the relationship evolves. Onboarding is the first and most important workflow after the sale. It lets a provider define a repeatable, transparent process so customers start receiving value quickly. And because it integrates with multiple workflows across the ServiceNow platform, it really is the connective tissue that kicks off the customer journey. Next is the engagement record, a central umbrella that manages all the internal and external interactions with a customer across their entire life cycle. Its real job is to centralize that activity into a single historical log, a true single pane of glass for the customer's journey. From here, you drive actions and workflows, track relational health, success objectives, milestones, mitigate risks, and surface opportunities for expansions and renewals. And one important detail. A single account can have one engagement or many, so this flexes to however the relationship is structured. Value blueprinting is where goals get defined and tracked. These can be what the customer wants to achieve with the provider's products mapped to their business needs, or value the provider wants to document as an outcome of using its products. It works in 3 layers. Success objectives represent the value gained. They're intentionally broad and time boxed, and they're underpinned by the products and capabilities the customer owns. Success outcomes are the specific and measurable metrics that ladder up to each objective. Hitting them is how you prove values being delivered. And success initiatives are the actionable steps to get there, sometimes planned and proactive, sometimes unplanned and reactive. And that's the level where the actual tasking happens. Workflow covers the activities teams use to collaborate both internally and externally to deliver exceptional service and to do strategic planning, all through repeatable, playbook driven delivery. There are two types. An internal play is a set of actions the customer success team and the extended team run for key internal activities. Think get to green plays, renewals, partner reviews, and evaluations. A customer play is similar, but it brings the customer in too for external workflows like adoption plays, advocacy programs, and licensing. Both are driven by playbooks, tasks, and recommended actions. Converse is built around the touchpoint, a dedicated record type that's used to log customer meetings. A touch point acts as an umbrella for one off or recurring conversations, capturing the key details and insights to give you a chronological history. Because a single touch point can span multiple ongoing activities with a customer, it gets its own activity history, meeting records, Gen AI summarizations, and child tasks. So nothing about the conversation gets lost, and it all feeds your engagement analytics. Finally, manage is about tracking and reacting to events tied to an engagement, and it spans a few different record types. A risk signal and issue captures a risk or problem flagged either manually or by the system that could threaten the customer relationship. An implementation record documents the activation of products and capabilities, whether that's done by professional services, a partner, or the customer themselves through self service. A product adoption roadmap is the proposed adoption journey built from the customer's needs, value alignment, and implementation timelines with input from their stakeholders. And product and capability usage tracks how customers are actually engaging with what they've implemented, surfacing adoption trends, usage gaps, and the signals that feed health scoring, success objectives, and renewal conversations. These last two slides cover the configuration layer that enables quite a bit of flexibility. First, success choices. These define the category values on risk, signal, and issue records and the driver values on objectives. They also power color banding, so you can categorize records and control where those colors show up, as well as the organization in the workflow picker for success objectives. And finally, success definitions. These leverage the configured success choices to set the category and subcategory values in the workflow picker, but critically, they indicate which flow should execute when a given definition is selected. So definitions are what connect a configuration choice to an actual automated process. And that's the end-to-end data model, from container records that anchor everything through each of the record types down to the choices and definitions that let you tailor it to your organization.